Well, it started good and it ended good, with a little bit of filler here and there. So, typical NXT episode. I'm Boss Antelope 86. I apologize for that. Back to you with another video, and today I am doing my NXT review that just happened about a minute or so ago. Like I said, had some filler, but you know what? It's gonna be every wrestling show. Before I get into this episode, I would like to pay my homage and my respects to New Jack, who has sadly passed away. I forgot to mention on my Raw review, but I did put in the description. But it's kind of a blessing and it's kind of a curse that New Jack passed on my graduation. Terrible. New Jack, crazy son of a bitch by any stretch of the imagination. Just look up the Dark Side of the Ring episode and you know what he did. Sweet Christ, he did a lot to himself. Hell of a promo, though. Jim Cornette praises him. Even though that they had some iffy stuff back in the day, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Also, another wrestler that passed away, Don Cornoodle. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but he passed away yesterday. Very, very, very tremendous man. He was a pretty good wrestler. I think it's Smoky Mountain, and I think it's some other territories. Very, very nice man. At least I think. I don't really know. I didn't look up any information on him. But as far as I know, he seems like a nice guy, and it sucks that he passed away. Anyways, on to the review proper. We start off with some video packages that's going to be hyping up tonight's NXT, and then what's going to happen next week. We get Tony Storm versus Zoe Stark. We get an NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver pre-match rematch. Hooray! Pre-show rematch, I meant. Hooray! This, I think, was a little bit better than our pre-show match, because at least they advertised it. Good stuff back and forth. Zoe Stark, she's a good wrestler. Her character's just a little bland, in my opinion. She's just kind of the, oh, I'm helping out the other babyface, all that stuff. Maybe she can help her, she could tweak her character up a little bit, make him a little more interesting. Toni Storm, fantastic talent. This was a pretty good match. Tony being the smarky heel and Zoe being, the ultimate underdog. Storm Zero, no one to kick out. And then Tony does this new move, which I've never seen before. If you've seen Eric of the Viking Raiders or Ro of War Machine, you know how he does, like he has the guy in like in the Uranage like move. He puts it over his leg and then he gets that knee strike, right? What Tony did is that she put Zoe over her knee, but then put her on her head, but in like a DDT like move. You might have to look at the move, but the move was actually kind of cool, and it looked like she got spiked on her head. 1, 2, 3. As there was a Storm Zero counter earlier, it looked like Tony about spiked herself, but she didn't look hurt. This was a pretty fun match. Not going to go over everything, but this was a good way to start off the show. And then Frankie Munier shows up. She's like doing all this. She's having her debut match next week. And then Legado del Fantasma with Mackenzie backstage, talking about how they want to be they're going to be number one contenders against MSK. Then Ciampa and Thatcher show up, and they said, if you want to be number one contenders, you got to prove it. And then they have a match. This is where the show kind of dips a little bit, in my opinion. Cameron Grimes shows up, and he wants to park his car, and he said, "Hey, why don't you go park it?" And Jake Atlas says, "No. How about Ted DiBiase has your spot." And Grimes like, "Hi, you're funny. You know what's gonna be funny? Me kicking your ass tonight." And he throws money at a minority on the USA Network. Hooray! A gay minority man, because Jake Atlas is gay. And good for him on that. If you don't like that, anyways. We have Martin Reed, oh wait, no, hold on, I'm skipping ahead. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, they're in a spa. Dexter Loomis is there, giving Indy a massage. This all evaporates before it even started. I like Loomis. He doesn't blink. For the love of God, think of the children and blink, man. And I like Indy. Candice is a good wrestler, but she's bland. I don't know where they're going with this. Hold on. Balor and Cross, the prime target, is hype up. They're looking over what their match was, and various, people talk about their match, like Paul Heyman, saying that, oh, Balor might be a good addition to SmackDown if you lose next week. Balor and Cross 2, Electric Boogaloo, that will be a pretty damn good match. Jake Ellis versus Cameron Grimes. It was a match. Ted DiBiase shows up, he distracts Grimes, and then Atlas wins. What is the blow off here? They're going to have a $1 million face off, DiBiase and Grimes. Excuse me, they're going to have a $1 million face off next week. Okay? Before Grimes came out, he said this is a real $1 million man. It's Ted DiBiase getting embarrassed. Including when Virgil beat him for the $1 million championship, and one of the biggest, loudest pops that Virgil will ever get. And debatably, Virgil's best match because Virgil was not a good wrestler. Nothing against the man, just not a good wrestler. And then we get a wrestler video package talking about his cage match with Gargano. Pete done an interview. I couldn't remember the guy's name. It's a sports journalist saying that journalists say that I've been very impressed with what you're doing. Dunn says he's the best technical wrestler and he's going to prove it. Imperium in the ring. It's Alexander Wolf versus Killian Dane. It literally went for like 4 minutes. They mentioned Sanity because it was Nikki Cross, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Eric Young when they formed Sanity. And then talk about how they were former members. Chair tries to get used, but the divide and 1, 2, 3. The running crossbody by Dane, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then after the match, Imperium goes through their thing, but Bartel and Eichner, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, they attack Wolf. Okay, what's this gonna lead to? And then McKenzie with Dakota, Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. Talking about, Gonzalez talking about her victory over Mercedes Martinez last week, saying that she respects her, but she beat her last week, and, she's ready for new competitors. Then everybody show up, and they kind of plug in some Instagram thing. I don't know what they're doing with them. Legado Fantasma versus Thatcher and Ciampa. Match was fine. I didn't really care about it. Is Mendoza okay? He got his nose busted open, and it looked pretty bad. He did bust his nose. That looked pretty bad. He was bleeding a lot. But he seemed fine. Great stuff here, As much as I don't care about Legado del Fantasma as a faction, they're a pretty good team. They're good athletes. Then JYV come down. That's the Grizzly Young Veterans. Zach Gibson and James Drake, they come down, they attack Thatcher, and then that kick Russian leg sweep maneuver to Ciampa, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, look at that Phantasma win. Okay. They're number one contenders. Bobby Fish with McKenzie, Fish is like, oh, Pete Dunne, since you think you're the best technical wrestler, you say you can beat anybody, how about you have a match with me next week? Okay. Then Indy and Candice are in the spa, and the lady's saying, you guys bought this with a credit card. It's on your credit card, but Candice and Indy are confused. They're like, oh, it was probably Austin, but maybe they're like, no, maybe those flowers for Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, they weren't for us. They were from Loomis. She's saying, Loomis does love me. Loomis does love me. I don't know why I like this storyline, even though that involves Gargano, Candice, and Austin. But, hey, it works, I guess. And Beth Phoenix is squealing like Miss Piggy for no reason. I mean, love is a beautiful and weird thing. Trust me, I've been in 3 relationships. Actually, 2. Technically 4, but 2 of them were lies. Anyway, enough of my sad news of a relationship. Gargano in theory backstage. Gargano saying, I beat the unbeatable, I stopped the unstoppable. I'm proving I'm the NXT North American champion. I'll retain tonight. Yeah, how about that? Then Saray versus Aaliyah with Jessica May and Robert Stone. Robert Stone, the voodoo prince from Princess and the Frog, called. He wants his hat and jacket back. What the hell was that? Saray wins. I think one needs to go on about this match. It's an Aaliyah match in 2021. She's been in the developmental system for nearly a decade now, and she still hasn't gotten better. And then a Shotzi and Ember video package talking about, they want another shot at the tag titles. Hit row backstage. Oh dear, this one the show kind of dips a little bit. And about dip, I mean they took a nosedive with this. Top Dollar, aka AJ Francis, and Ashante Theodonis versus Tony Nese and Aria Daivari. This should have been at least a minute and a half, and it went up for like 2.5. AJ Francis looks like a low man's D'Lo Brown. He's a big guy, and he can do big guy stuff. He did have Nese and Daivari on his shoulder and, put him in a World's Strongest Slam. That was cool, but he's just there to do big man stuff. And then Ashante, he just wants to beat the crap out of everyone. Death Valley Driver 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think Nese got pinned. And then they talk about, taking spots and, making dots and all that. So what was this? I didn't understand this. And then they introduced themselves, I think. This is not working. It's only been a week old and it's not working. I love Scott. I absolutely love Isaiah Swerve Scott. His stuff as a kill shot Lucha Underground is one of the best Lucha Underground has to offer. And they're going to make a season 5, and I am pumped about it. And I'm curious of what they're going to have with the personnel there, and what they're going to do with the roster. Ashante Adonis, he's fine. BFAB, I forgot who the lady's name is. I have no idea who it is. Nothing against her as a person. I have no idea who she is. AJ Francis, I'm guessing is a great guy. I just don't get him. Scott says he's gonna keep an eye on Gargano and Reed after their steel cage match tonight. And McKenzie with Regal backstage. Regal says that we're gonna bring in more competitors for the women's division and more competitors for the men's division. And next week it's going to be Raquel and Dakota versus Ember and Shotzi. Okay, that's one way to, promote those matches. Take notes, SmackDown and Raw. Well, SmackDown knows how to at least plug in matches, and Raw doesn't know what the hell they're doing because the notes are ripped up and done on the fly by Vince McMahon. We get to the main event. Johnny Gargano with Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed. Steel cage match for a North American title. This was a pretty good match. I fairly enjoyed this. Gargano, David versus Goliath. Gargano being the smaller man trying to get out of the cage early so he doesn't have to deal with the bigger Bronson Reed. Good stuff. Good stuff here. Bronson doing big man stuff. Gargano trying to do everything. Trying to take out the knees, take out the legs. Austin trying to, help out Gargano. We got some good moves here. Why the Poison Rana? Just why? Super kick to, Bronson's knee, and he, crotches himself on the top rope, but Gargano's, on the top rope, bouncing up and down on it, like leaning on it. Gargano tries to go for the, mid-rope spear, but he couldn't because he got his legs caught in the cage. Reed gets hit with the jumping DDT from off the top. That was actually pretty impressive. Reed, fighting back, trying to fight against the odds. Austin's trying to interfere. Reed, shoves him in the door, then he gets slammed into the cage. Top rope powerbomb off the top. That was some good stuff. Reed shoves the ref or not Reed. Theory shoves the ref, and it hits Reed with the cage. And Gargano super kicks him. Gargano tries to get away, but Reed throws him off, and Theory gets thrown off. Gargano's trying to run to the crawl to the door. Splash on the Gargano's back off the top rope and off top of the cage. Then Reed shuts the door. Tsunami! 1, 2, 3. Reed finally wins. Thank God. It should have happened at Stand and Deliver, but I guess this is one way to finally end this feud. There you go. They did do a video package of how it took Reed 14 years to get into WWE. It's been a journey and all that stuff. His stuff as General Rock in the Indies was very, 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 very good in my opinion. The clash with Walter and Keith Lee and all that stuff. Great stuff here. This was a great moment for Bronson Reed. I was very happy for him. Great stuff for the big man. And yeah, that's it, guys. Again, it started good and ended good. So yeah, I will say, I don't know. I'm going to try and review AEW and SmackDown because the NBA Finals are happening tomorrow and AEW is going to be on Friday. Because Double or Nothing is coming up because we have to tomorrow. Oh, God. Sorry, my back's been killing me. And they're trying to, promote Double or Nothing that's happening this weekend. So, or next week, actually. So, yeah. That was NXT. What did you guys think? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and join the herd. I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace out.